All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. We got the one, the only Wu-Tang affiliate. We got Dungeon Masta right here, right now on the line. How you doing this evening?
Peace to the gods and nerves. How's everybody feeling, man?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. First and foremost, man, I gotta say, the Wu-Tang has invaded Canada once again, man. So I hope you're having a great night, man. I really do hope that everything is all good on your end as well.
Oh, it's everything beautiful over here. You know what I mean? We working.
Hey man, that's all you guys know how to do, man, is work, man. I gotta be honest, you guys are like workaholics within the hip hop industry, man. So you guys are always putting out phenomenal work, man. Anything the Wu-Tang touches turns to pure gold.
Facts. Definitely that. You know what I mean? And like, despite that, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people like need to understand, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as the Wu Tang as a group, you know, that's the 10 generals. You know what I'm saying? Everything else after that is families and affiliates. You know what I mean? So it's like now, you know what I mean? It's to a point to where, you know what I mean? Us, that's who we are. You know what I mean? It's always gravy and everything, you know what I'm saying, to bring and add on to what, you know what I'm saying, everybody else done put in front of us. You know what I mean?
And one thing I do got to ask you there, man. Like I ask every single guest that does come on the station, because I always like asking this because there's always a different story to this question. But I have to ask you, man, taking you back to the very beginning, what made you decide, and also what inspired you to actually get into the music industry?
Well, I always was into that, like, since I was, like, little. You know what I mean? Like, with me, it came to me, like, on a and then on that, you know what I mean? Like chill with my peoples, you know what I mean? My snot-nosed day ones, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you know what I mean? My family was more into, like, the gospel thing, so I used to, like, watch my uncles and them play instruments and everything else, and you know, it just caught on.
Hey man, you know what? I gotta say, and that must have really influenced you to actually get into the music industry as well, man. Because having a musical background, man, really does play a lot of ties into actually doing what you do.
Facts, definitely that. It's definitely that, you know, because like my original start, you know what I'm saying, was DJing. And then, you know, I was, you know, so I used to do the breakdancing thing and everything else, you know what I'm saying? But my main thing was mainly like DJing and just spitting.
And also, you were actually signed to Poppa Wu Records. I have to ask you, how did you get connected with Poppa Wu? And of course, man, how did that record deal come to be?
Well, like, I got connected to Papa Wu through Dirty Mother. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, like, if you want to, like, really get technical into everything, I came into the Wu thing, you know what I'm saying, through Dirty. You understand what I'm saying? Because me and Dirty, you know what I'm saying, people's, you know what I'm saying, snot knows they want. You know what I'm saying? Ray Song, the gatekeeper, you know what I'm saying, the Brooklyn Zoo, you know what I'm saying, we did the public school thing. You know what I mean? So, like, years later, we got back together, you know what I mean, we just made it happen. But, like, as far as, like, getting with Papa Wu and everything, you know what I mean, I was with Dirty for the longest, you know what I'm saying, got with Buddha Monk, you know what I mean, and then, like, through Dirty, you know what I'm saying, that's when I got more affiliated with what's going on and everything else. You know what I mean? And then when Dirty was locked up, you know what I mean, his mom's, you know what I'm saying, Cherry Jones, you know what I'm saying, that's like my second mother. So she put me with Papa Wu, and then from there, Papa Wu gave me the opportunity to actually expand and, like, go hard with my talent as far as, like, producing and everything else. I learned everything that I learned from, like, you know what I'm saying, in Papa Wu's studio. Papa Wu got the studio in the Restoration in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? It was like everything was right there. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do with it?
And I most definitely have to say as well, God bless Papa Wu's soul, man. Such an amazing individual and gone way too soon.
Man, like that chamber right there, B, is like, it's really emotional because, like, prior to Papa Wu, I lost my mother also. You know what I mean? So my moms and then family members and then Papa Wu, that was like put at the end of the day, 2019 was not my best year. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, we live for those that are here, and we got to keep that legacy going.
And that is most definitely true, man. That is most definitely true. God bless his soul, and his legacy will always live on.
Facts.
And you also created two other record labels as well, called Solo Pro Records and also Iron Flag Records. Can you tell us the story behind both of those record labels? And of course, are they still running today?
Well, like Solo Pro Records was like my first actual put it this way, like once I started, you know what I'm saying, learning everything that I was learning as far as like in the studio with Poppa and everything else, you know, Poppa always like instilled in us for us to go and go more. You know what I mean? Like it's always a bigger picture. You know what I mean? I didn't have to always be just a spitter. I could just be a label owner also and provide an outlet for those that need that outlet. You know what I mean? So that's when Solo Pro Records came into the picture. You know what I mean? Then I partnered up with my homie, you know what I'm saying, Vienna from you know what I'm saying, she was out there in Staten Island in Charlotte. You know what I mean? So when I came home from my bed, you know, we got together. She had Solo Pro Productions, so I was like, you know what I mean? Let's start this label and make it do what it do. And then we started this off Solo Pro Records. And then at the time, it did what it did. You know what I mean? And it was a good venture. And then, you know, I had to, me personally, I was dealing with like personal things as far as at the home front. So at the time, I couldn't be focused on one thing and then the other at that time. So it was either one or the other. And then at the time, I was dealing with like foolishness within my camp. I had a snake in my garden. You know what I mean? And the snake in my garden was putting me on to certain stuff that snakes do. So I had to cut Solo Pro Records down, you know what I mean, and reinvent the whole thing. You know what I mean? I had Solo Pro Radio and the whole nine. You know what I mean? And then, like, when you let certain people in your circle and they happen to, like, get a grasp of what you're doing and they know that what you're doing is way bigger than what they're going to do, they're either going to do two things. Either get with the process or they're going to do everything that they can to pull that crab in the barrel effect. Me personally, I went through the crab in the barrel effect. I'm not going to speak the name of this dude because at the end of the day, that's blasphemy right now. But at the end of the day, it's all gravy. So I had to reinvent everything. I had to fall back. I went through my own personal chambers, whatever the case may be, and I fell back. So when I fell back, you know what I mean, even though I fell back from a lot of stuff, I still had a lot of stuff in the makings and a lot of work still being put out there. So I could afford to fall back and get my mind right because I still had work out there. You know what I mean? So now I had to reinvent everything that I was doing because I was going through my own chambers. And me going through my own chambers, I'm way different than everybody else. You know what I mean? I don't do that 9 to 5 normal everyday human being stuff. I don't like human beings. I'm not with all that. You know what I mean? I'm very special. And that's beyond yellow school bus. So I had to like really think within myself about what I really wanted to do with my career, my music and everything else. And mind you, not only do I have my children, but I also have grandchildren also. So it's a bigger picture now for me. You understand what I'm saying? And all this is what I was learning, dealing with the war and all that. It's about family, leaving a legacy, and putting something out there that you could pass on to your little ones, and they can make it bigger and everything. I mean, it's all a process. You know what I mean? So after I then decided to get my head out my ass, that's when Iron Flag Records came into play. You know what I mean? And yes, I'm signed to my own label, and it is what it is, and I'm Gucci, and I'm in my own lane, I'm living good. I'm good with that.
Hey, man, that's the best way to be, man. As long as you are content. As long as you are content, man, that's the best way to be.
Right, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's not about me being content. It's a bigger picture involved, Lord. You know what I mean? See, we have the outlet, we have the resources, and we have to be those that speak for those that don't have a voice. You understand what I'm what I'm saying? That's why we have these outlets and these platforms. So we can speak for those that don't have a voice. So they can find their voice within themselves and let their voice be heard. Feel me?
Most definitely, man. You are the voice for the voiceless.
Basically. And that's what it is. We all voices for the voiceless.
And
I mean, regardless of whether it comes from being an MC, being a writer, being a DJ, being a radio executive, being a label executive, regardless of what we do in this right here, we have the outlets and we have the power. We control what goes on. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, Lord, we have to also look at it. We got people that look to us as that stepping stone. But the fact is, and this is a sad fact, that when we have a lot of us that have that power, but we don't look towards those that need to be out there like how we are out there. And that's the sad thing. That's selfishness.
And also, man, in 2005, I noticed as well that you actually released your first solo project entitled Project Oblivion that actually was with collaboration with Buddha Monk. Buddha Monk, I have to ask you, what was your inspiration behind that project? And of course, how did yourself and Buddha get connected?
Well, everything was too dirty. Everything was too dirty and everything. I mean, Project Oblivion was like the first project that I produced, let's say, like 85% of that album. And everything else was tracks from my peoples and everything else. But that was like the first project that I actually put my blood, sweat, and tears into. That was the introduction to let everybody know who Dungeon Master was. And mind you, I had a fan base 5 years prior before I even put out Project Oblivion. You know what I mean? So that was I was one of those that was like the late bloomer, but when you hear what I got and when you hear what I put out, you got nothing but to bob your head to the noodles. You know what I mean? And get with that gorilla juice and bomb. Blow it down.
And another one of my favorite records here, this is the record where I actually discovered the legendary Dungeon Master, man. But what your album was Wishful Thinking, I think it came out around 2008. I could be wrong on the year, man, but I remember
You know what makes so crazy? It's funny that you mentioned that because that was my last solo album.
Really, it was?
And it's fair facts. Not many people know that. But that was because as far as career-wise, I only released 2 albums. Everything else, it was either a project that I was on or I was putting together a compilation project with other artists and everything. Because I got to, because my thing is it's not about me, it's about everybody else. You know what I mean? I'm good. Regardless of what I do in this industry, I'm going to always be gravy. But at the end of the day, I want to have an outlet for those that need that outlet, that got talent. There's so much talent out here, it's crazy. And at the end of the day, if they don't do anything with that talent, they're going to fall subjected to what the fuck they see. That's that product and environment shit. You know what I mean?
And I have to say, though, one of my favorite tracks off that record was actually "Hey Ma," man. You spit like a motherfucker on that track, man. That whole album is pure gold.
Facts, you know what I mean? I appreciate that, you know what I mean? I don't really look at what I put out as far as whatever. My thing is that me personally, this music shit is therapy for me. Because I go through issues just like everybody else. I'm normal just like everybody else. The only difference is that, you know what I mean, I may do other things that other people don't. But it's still all good. Still the same person. Just like everybody else in the industry. Everybody is still the same person. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying, cats just got talent, and at the end of the day, this is high paying. You know what I mean? But it's a grind. It's a grind for this. You know what I mean? And on top of that, you know what I mean, I'm going to always be hungry in this because it's not about me. And I realized that years ago, even before I put out Project Oblivion, that it's not only about me, it's about my circle, what's around me. There's so many stories that need to be told, but nobody don't have the outlet or the resources to get them stories told. So I want to provide that. You know what I mean? I'm always about the underground and the underdog.
And also in 2007, you actually formed the duo, the Dirty Clanzmen. I have to ask you, can you tell us a story behind that group's formation? And of course, how did yourselves actually meet?
Dirty Clanzmen is in all reality is a tribute to Old Dirty. That's like my part as far as my end, as far as recognizing and acknowledging a brother of mine that left me on my birthday. Dirty died on my born day. You understand what I'm saying? I was there in 36 Chambers, and I saw my dude on the ground with the white sheet on him, and before they put him in the meat wagon and all that. And it was brutal, and it was crazy, and it was very personal and emotional. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that day was crazy. So it was like 3 years later, I came up with an idea in Baltimore to do something that was going to not only honor him, but also establish myself as who I am as an artist. So that's when Dirty Clanzmen came into play. And regardless of what I was going through personally in my own personal life, I always kept my business first and foremost. And it took me 7 years to handpick every crew member of Dirty Clanzmen. Dirty Clanzmen was not an overnight thing. And we 12 deep. And that's just the group. On top of that, we have other members outside of that, which is Dirty Clanzmen family. That's when you got cats like Gillis Casanova, you know what I mean, and the producers that also deals with Dirty Clanzmen, which is DJ Wiz, DJ Iceman, you know what I'm saying, DJ Flipside, you know what I'm saying, Smooth Match Beats, who's also a general in Dirty Clanzmen, you know what I mean, along with any other producers that come up in the forefront, that basically that's around our circle.
And I have to say, man, you guys had such phenomenal chemistry together, man. I also noticed, kind of jumping ahead in the timeline just a little bit, I also noticed that the Dirty Clanzmen, the Dirty Truth, was actually re-released in actually 2009. And I've always wondered, what made you actually decide to re-release that, man? Like, was there like complications with the first release, or was it just something you guys wanted to remaster?
The first release, the Dirty Truth was first released only on Audio Mac on 2016 as an experiment. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, I actually didn't know it was only Audio Mac.
During that time, it was a whole other stuff that was in the mix. So everybody had a thing when they put stuff out. You have so many outlets. So when we first released 32, see, one thing about Dirty Clanzmen that a lot of people do know about Dirty Clanzmen, we like so anticipated that it's crazy. So we built on that anticipation. You know what I mean? Everybody was asking about Dirty Clanzmen. Yo, when Dirty Clanzmen coming out with this? When Dirty Clanzmen coming out with that? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, me being part of this 10th chamber, which is the Freedom of Death Chamber, which is Poppa Wu's chamber, that is my job also. You know what I'm saying? To make the issue, it's about holding this family down. So when I released Dirty Clanzmen, the Dirty Truth in 2016, that was when I finally had got the group together. You know what I mean? So when we released Dirty Truth out on Audio Mac, the streams and the download of that alone, you know what I mean? It was a good thing. In my it was not really much promotion, but the promotion that was behind it did what it's supposed to do. I was looking more at the analytics of it. You understand what I'm saying? So now, because we always come together. So during this time now, we coming out with this legacy project. You know what I mean? I decided to re-release the Dirty Truth last year on all digital platforms instead of it just being on one.
And also directly after this interview, there, Dungeon. I'm sorry. I'm actually gonna be playing your one of your newest songs that you actually just released back in July, called "Champion," featuring Paul Mars. I was wondering if you can, Todd, just tell us a little bit more about that song, and of course, how did you get connected with Paul Mars? That way, when our listeners check the song out here on the station, they can wrap their head around the meaning just a little bit more.
Well, Paul Mars is a good brother of mine. He's really a real good brother of mine. I don't have friends. Anybody that's around me, they my family. Paul Mars is my family. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? We did the East Coast Killer Bees projects together. You know what I mean? And Paul Mars was also doing the I Battle thing in the Battle League. You know what I mean? So Paul Mars, you know what I mean? He's a very skillful brother. Very skillful brother. So when DJ Iceman, you know what I'm saying, had the trap for me and everything, you know what I mean, I'm thinking of what I want to be on that with me. It was for that time, it was Paul Morris, because when I recorded that last year, that was not long after my mom's passed away. You know what I mean? So not only I was going through a chamber for myself, because I was dealing with a lot of anger, and in a way I still am. But, like, you know what I mean, me having ties with my family, which is my brothers, Paul Mars, Eddie Hispanic, Dizzy Disaster, Manny McGava, you know what I mean, my 30 Clanzmen team, my Wu family, and everybody else, you know what I mean? These is the people that kept me grounded when I was going through this. You know what I'm saying? Even Poppa and Capadonna, they kept me grounded when my mom's passed. So, however, instead of me going wild onion, because I normally go wild onion at any given moment, at any given time. That's just me. Everything I spit about is either I did it or I'm going to do it. I mean, that's the difference between me and a lot of other artists. They spit shit that they see on TV. I don't do that shit. You know what I mean? I spit about what the fuck I do. I spit about real life situations. I don't got to spit about gun game and selling a whole bunch of drugs and getting high off pills and fucking bitches and all that shit. No one really gives a fuck about that. That's entertainment. I spit about what the fuck I go through, because guess what? I'm not the only one that's going through it. And me having an outlet to have a voice, at the end of the day, it is what it is, man.
Hey, man, first and foremost there, Dungeon, preach that shit for the freaking top tier, man, because they need to hear that, man, because I'm just going to say preach that shit, because it's the truth, man. No one gives, excuse my language, I don't normally swear as an interviewer, but nobody gives a fuck about the drugs and the pills and the fucking bitches. We want musical substance, man. We want stories. We want the elements of the hip-hop culture into one song, like the scratching, the rhymes, the inspiration. That's what we want, man, as real hip-hop fans, man. So preach that shit,
Hey.
Dungeon. See,
my thing is this. I tell people straight up, there's a difference between a rapper and an MC. Terrorists said it years ago. Rap is something you do. Hip-hop is something you live. You understand what I'm saying? And not only on top of that, but then you have the corporations that fed into everything that we was doing, because at the end of the day, hip-hop is a struggle. Hip-hop was the way that we had to express ourselves as far as dealing with shit that we was going through in the hood before they gentrified everything and fucked everything up. I mean, hip-hop was our release. And then the corporations got a hold to it, and now they want to gay everything out. And I'm going to be 1,000. This is one of them type of interviews. We want to keep it 1,000. They gay everything the fuck out. They want to have niggas dressing up like bitches and all this other shit. And mind you, I'm not a racist motherfucker, nor do I have bigotry and none of that other shit. But it's time and places for certain shit. And at the end of the day, they chose to use what other people was going through to fuck up our culture.
And that's true, man. Like, there's so many, like, there's artists out there wearing, like, pink latex and stuff like that. And it's like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Let me explain something to you. Anything that was under my generation is fucked up. And mind you, I didn't say I said anything under my generation, which means the dudes that was under us, that came out and everything else, the 2000 motherfuckers, crazy. They did their thing, whatever, early 2000, Rouster, did their thing. 2014 was fucked up.
I most definitely agree. I agree with that timeline, most definitely.
Anything after 2014, now motherfuckers want to come out. What the fuck is this? Hey, and then on top of that, mind you, I gotta go there, but mind you, this is my thoughts. This is my expressions, and not those of the how can I say it? Not those of the station and everything else. These are my thoughts only. Anything after Lee Daniels, shit got fucked up from TV on down.
And so, Dungeon Master, I want to know, what's next for you, man? Like, is there anything I happen to miss during this interview? Any new projects? Anything you got currently cooking right now in the pot that you still want to that you still actually want to, promote? We still have you here live on the radio station airwaves.
Facts, well, like right now, like before you hit me, I was just recording. You know what I mean? So right now I'm in the studio and everything. We cooking up some work. You know what I'm saying? Finishing up the 30 Clanzmen project. You know what I mean? That's going to be done soon, the Legacies project. November 13th or the 15th, we're going to release 2 singles, one from 30 Clanzmen album and one off my album, Foolish Samurai project. On top of that, you know what I mean? Poppa Wu book is out, so I need everybody to cop that. Go on the site and get it, www.poppawuchamber.com. Get that book, Birth of a Clan, the Poppa Wu story. You know what I mean? Definitely get that. Look out for Rare Gems Entertainment. You know what I mean? Cuffy Crime Family. Not only besides myself. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's a lot going on. You know what I mean? Look out for the new Stressed and Alley joint that's going to be released under my label. You know what I mean? But not only besides that, the Clanzmen project, there's also a project that I can actually say, that I can actually announce. You know what I mean? A single that's going to be coming out real soon. You know what I mean? Myself, Snoop Dogg, and Judah Priest. You know what I mean? That will also be featuring on the Foolish Samurai project. And also to other producers that I deal with, there's also going to be upcoming work from Dirty Clanzmen featuring Stevie Stone, and also myself featuring Stevie Stone. So, working.
Hey, man, look, it sounds like you have most definitely been busy, man. That Snoop Dogg project, that's one that most definitely appeals to me. So, whenever that does come out, man, let me know. I most definitely will purchase myself a copy of that for sure.
Facts, definitely. You know what I mean? Everything is going the way it's going. So it's like, you know what I mean? I'm actually, in all reality, I'm actually feeling real good. You know what I mean? It's like, all this hard work is doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? My people's just home. Everybody is doing what they're doing. So it's just a matter of us just doing what we do and make it, how Slim said, do what it do and make it do what it do, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you already know, Dungeon. You already know, man. I gotta ask this, man. Right before we wrap things up here, I gotta ask you, man. This is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. And of course, man, if you can, drop them social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on all your newest projects if they're not already doing so.
Facts. Well, everybody can follow me. Dungeon Master is... Google me, you Google that, but a lot of people like to spell it with the ER at the end. I took the ER at the end, and I took that ER and turned that into another persona, which is Ezekiel Rage. You know what I'm saying? So when you Google Dungeon Master, it's DUNGEONMASTA. You know what I mean? I'm on the web. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, IG. I mean, I'm not a hard dude to reach, but when you reach and approach me, make sure you approach me right. You know what I mean? And don't come at me talking about, yo, I got something I want you to be on and all this other shit. You know what I mean? And I got love for the music. I got love for the music too, but my love for the music don't pay bills for my grandkids and my son that's locked up. So come at me when you come at me correct about a feature. And make sure that your budget is right. You know what I'm saying? That's for me and my team.
Most definitely, and I agree with that statement
enough.
there, Dungeon. I really do. The one thing I always tell individuals as well, man, is the music industry is not free, and a lot of people get pissed off at that, but it's the truth. And I really do blame platforms like SoundCloud and Mixcloud that you can just do music and upload it for free, and I blame platforms like that for really making individuals think that the music industry is free. But you know, if you want features, man, you got to make sure you come correct.
Facts. I mean, everything costs money. Do the knowledge, right? And this is for motherfuckers that's just starting. So everybody that's on the air now that want to be upcoming MCs, you need to get a pen and paper or get your fucking phone and put that shit on the memo shit, because I'm about to give you $1 million jewel. First and foremost, you have to copyright your name. That costs bread. You have to spend bread. It takes money. I mean, I mind you, it takes money, but then it don't take money. So that's the part that you have to figure out for yourself as your own artist. Everybody handles their own business differently. You know what I mean? But yes, it takes money to copyright your motherfucking name. It takes money to trademark your joint. It takes money to ensure that your joint get pushed the way it gets pushed. It takes money for radio play. It takes money for promo. It takes money for blogs. Everything takes money. So don't think just because you know a motherfucker that know a motherfucker that know a motherfucker that shit is gravy. Nigga, please. That shit.
100% facts. You know what I mean? And I agree with that statement, man. A lot of people come at me as well. And like that's like you said, just because you know a person that knows a person. I have people come to me all the time and be like, "Hey, I know this guy. He's getting an interview. Can I get some free airplay?" And it's like, what? Like, you know what I mean? No, man. Like, I'm like, if this guy doesn't get free airplay, you don't get free airplay.
And the crazy thing is, they coming to you without even going to the person that they know.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's what I get that a lot. But at the end of the day, you have to stay professional with things as well. Like some days you just want to tell people off, but then you got to sit back and recollect and be like, okay, I'm a business. You know what I mean? You have to come at it correctly, even at the opposite end. You know, you can be upset, but you still have to come correctly with your response.
Right. Facts. You know what I mean? Everything is a business with this now. And people got to realize that the older that you get, the more experience that you gain in this business. You know what I'm saying? Because this business will make you or break you. Either or. You know what I mean? It's about the dedication and the commitment. You know what I mean? And if you don't got the drive or the commitment for this ain't for you. Get a job. Be a doctor. Be a bus driver. Be something productive that you can do something that's going to instill some type of benefit for your community. Because at the end of the day, a lot of rappers ain't.
That's most definitely true. I agree with that 100%.
And like I said, a lot of rappers ain't. But a lot of MCs is dealing with their communities because they still there.
And I gotta say, Dungeon, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening, you know, and stopping production on your new record to talk with myself and my audience, man, about your newest projects and also the history of your career, man. It was truthfully an honor. I grew up on the Wu-Tang, man, so trust me, I'm absolutely honored that, you know, you took about 30 minutes out of your busy schedule to come on my station, man. Thank you so much.
Man, look, man, I followed y'all for a minute, and I'm truly honored myself to even be part of this. So I definitely want to, you know what I'm saying, acknowledge that and also thank you too, brother.
Hey, man, I'm going to say this first and foremost, and I want to let you know everything I do tell artists when they do come on the station. I'm not just one of them DJs that's going to hype you up and tell you stuff for no reason, and I mean this, man. When your new projects do come out, make sure you hit me up, and if you need any extra exposure or anything, like say you want like an ad played on the station, you know what I mean? I got you. You know what I mean? So just hit me up, and we most definitely can make it happen, man. I'm thankful for this interview, and I'm thankful for your time, man. So.
Definitely. Salute to my General Capadonna. Salute to my General ODB. Salute to my mentor and father figure and brother Poppa Wu. And salute to my brother in the 3030. You know what I mean? Sean P. Duck Down. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man. It's an honor to actually, you know what I'm saying, to be blessed. To like know what I'm capable of doing, and actually, and I'm really blessed to have the people that surround me keep me going. You understand what I'm saying? Because, I mean, this is not like a one-person thing, man. It takes a team. It takes a village to raise a child. You know what I mean? And even in this music industry, we are still children at this. You know what I'm saying? And once you got that right team, man, everything is going to go the way it's going to go, man. Salute.
Most definitely, Dungeon. Thank you so much, and most definitely have yourself a great night, and most definitely stay safe out there as well, man.
Facts. Outlaw Radio in the building. 30 Clanzmen. What up? Dungeon Master, Brooklyn Zoo, 10th Chamber, GLF, Wu-Tang Management, Killer Bees for life. Sir, Brooklyn Zoo forever.
Most definitely, man. Thank you so much, Dungeon.